The destruction and fragmentation of natural habitat is a leading cause of biodiversity loss. Although cities are often built in areas of high biodiversity, residential gardens can support a large amount of wildlife, making up to 86% of a city's greenscapes. Even with fences, roads, and buildings blocking their paths, lots of wildlife can still benefit from these spaces.
Gardens are amazing places for wildlife. They provide food, shelter, and water. But how much do we really know about what happens on our lawns and in our vegetable patches? Most animals come out at night and when we're not here. But there is one way to find out exactly what's happening behind our fences. To help figure out exactly what's been going on, there have been multiple camera traps around this garden over the course of the last year. And hopefully this footage will let us know exactly who's been in the garden and what they've been doing.
But first, we need to wait for darkness, when our cameras come to life. Each camera faces a slightly different direction. This is to make sure that we capture all of the nighttime activity. And it's not long before we get our first peek at the nocturnal behaviour in our gardens. Our first visitor is a badger. Badgers are the UK's largest living land predator, weighing roughly 8 to 12 kilograms. Their diet consists mainly of small mammals, birds' eggs, worms, and fruit. This one seems to have taken a liking to the plum tree. It's handy when the fruit grows so low. When there's so much on offer, you can definitely be picky. But you can bet with a buffet like this, news will get around. Badgers are very social. They live in small family groups called clans that are made up of about 4 to 8 individuals. They usually forage alone, but when there's as much food as this, it won't last long. Better not be too late to the party. Their long, powerful claws aren't great for climbing trees. Better stick to digging. Badgers use their claws to dig large burrows called setts. These can be over 100 meters long and have more than 50 entrances. They also use their claws to make toilets. A badger's sense of smell is incredibly strong. It plays a vital role in communication, and they use their latrines to mark the boundaries of their territories. They also use their smell for hunting. Badgers are the main predator of hedgehogs. Luckily, this one's been eating too many plums. Hedgehogs may be small, but they're covered in thousands of tiny spines, each made of keratin, the same thing as hare, and they get their name from the way that they forage. Hedgehogs find food by rooting through the undergrowth. Moving through the leaf litter and grass, they search for any small invertebrates like worms, slugs, and beetles. They're a potent ally for any gardener, removing pest species that might otherwise eat your vegetables. Hedgehogs can travel up to 2 kilometers in a single night. The same thing that makes hedges perfect habitats, nesting sites, food and protection, make gardens perfect too. And there are other animals that know it as well. Rabbits are among our most common and widespread mammals. They were introduced by the Normans for food and fur. They live underground in complex burrow systems called warrens, and each warren can house from a single pair to up to 30 rabbits. Their favourite food are leaves and shoots, bulbs, bark, and of course, crops. Each year, rabbits can do up to £100 million worth of agricultural damage. And this vegetable patch is the perfect place for a quick meal. Better not get complacent though. Foxes are famed for their cunning and stealth. With good reason. Foxes are incredibly adaptable and can be found across the entirety of the UK, ranging from mountaintops to salt marshes and sand dunes. They're the only wild dog species that we have in the UK, and although they have a bright orange coat and characteristic white-tipped tail, they're not exactly the easiest to see. Luckily for the rabbits, the foxes aren't here for them. Just like badgers, foxes are omnivorous, and they've also found the plum tree. Foxes are opportunistic, and aside from eating small mammals, birds, frogs, and worms, they also eat fruit and berries. They've also managed to find the pear tree. Before long, the sun begins to come up. The darkness is receding, and the nocturnal animals are going back to their burrows. The birds begin to chatter, and the only evidence of nocturnal activity in the garden is the bits of fruit left on the ground. Not to be seen again until the cameras are on the next night.